All right, y'all. Hope everyone's doing okay this evening. Thank you for joining me on the first iteration of Creepalachia Live. I believe I got everything all nice and set up for you. We're going to see how this goes, and I'm going to add this element to the show on a regular basis. We're actually going to do regular live streams on Sundays at 7:30 p.m. I think that's the time we're going to try it first. But we'll see how things go. And I'm going to do some live storytelling every so often and give everyone the chance to ask questions and all of that good stuff and see what we can do to answer them, if they're not crazy. But I appreciate you all being here and taking the time to be here. This is studio number 2. This will be my way. I've been figuring out for months how we can offer some Zoom capabilities and still have a quality stream for you all. So I made an investment, and we have this studio off and running. We even have sound effects. If you we can do voice changes
like, hey. Now, this one may be a little bit of an annoyance, but I'm going to try and, utilize it somehow.
We've got this one when I can, act like a monster. So that's a good time. And we have
a megaphone. For whatever reason. I realize stuff like that can get really, really annoying. So I'm going to try and use that sparingly. And I am an 80s baby. So I have a bunch of sound effects that I'm going to load up for different things. This one's for Sunday.
Where are you, Travis? Turn yourself in, Travis.
Okay. That's just one of them. So be sure to join us on Sunday at 7:30 p.m. Of course, we don't, not making light of the situation, but obviously Travis Turner needs to be found to face justice or at least to go through the justice system. So I'm actually having Alex Paul. She's on YouTube as A Paul. We've done an episode or two before. She's coming on at 7:30 p.m. on Sunday, and we're going to walk through the timeline that we know of so far, and we haven't had a lot of updates this week. Hopefully there'll be a big update that he turned himself in before Sunday. But as of right now, we're going to do a full timeline breakdown to put it all in one place for people. But yeah, so I'm an 80s baby, so I don't know if everyone will understand my sound effects that I have ready.
Is that you? Counselor?
Anybody?
Come out wherever you are.
Okay. Cape Fear, Robert De Niro. I love it. But anyways, all right. So like I said, we're going to have some Q&A at the end of this story. And this is the tale of Holler Ridge number 7 in Skygusty, West Virginia. Who all is from McDowell County? I know I am. Y'all know I am if you've been following the show for a while. But, I wanted to set this up. I wanted to tell a story about, coal miners. If y'all don't know, I used to be a coal miner. I was what I would call a coal miner light. I was a surface coal miner. But I wanted to write a story based in McDowell. And how basically I do this is we come up with a concept, and then we'll have some certain bullet points we have to hit the story arc, and I do a lot of improv. So if you haven't heard something like this, it is fictional. It's fake. I do fictional stories all the time on the channel, but some people don't finish the video to the end to realize it's fictional. So I'm going to tell you ahead of time, it's fictional. So, and I'm going to use a soundtrack to kind of set the mood. I don't really have any sound effects with this one. I don't want to get, too overboard on this first go. Trying to get the volume levels right and everything, and I think I have a good setup here. So let's go ahead and tell you all the tale of Holler Ridge number 7 in Skygusty, West Virginia. All right, so they used to say the dust in Holler Ridge number 7, tucked in the mountains outside of a small community called Skygusty, West Virginia in McDowell County. They said that dust didn't just choke you, it changed you. Miners joked about it, called it the devil's flower, but the company didn't joke at all. They just waved away concerns and told the men to dig deeper. And one of those men was Jonah Briggs, a strong, quiet miner with 30 years experience underground. His lungs rattled, his eyes watered, his hands trembled at night, but he never missed a shift. And coal was the only life he knew. And the company counted on men just like him, loyal, desperate, and slowly dying. But something was different in Holler Ridge number 7. The dust was thicker. It was heavier, almost oily. It clung to the miner's skin like soot with a pulse. Sometimes when their headlamps cut across the walls, the dust seemed to move, swirling as if it was breathing. Soon, Jonah started acting strange. He stopped talking on the man trip. And for those who don't know, the man trip is basically the vehicle that hauls the miners underground. But Jonah also stopped eating lunch. His pupils pinpricked small, even in the dark. Then one night, he stayed after shift to finish a cut. A roof fall sealed the section, trapping him inside. The company marked him lost by morning, and his family begged them to dig. But the superintendent said it was just too costly. Cost too much, the man's lost. So they left Jonah down there, buried alive under tons of slate and dust. But 3 days later, the night foreman saw something on the camera feed. A figure crawling out of the collapsed section. Face was gray. Eyes were black as night. And it was breathing dust instead of air. It was Jonah. They couldn't believe it. The dust had filled him, packed his lungs, wormed into his blood, coated his teeth, and he staggered to a coal seam and started mining. Fast, violent, ripping coal from the wall with his bare hands. And the foreman panicked. They called corporate. Now, corporate arrived in suits, and they watched Jonah tear through solid rock, and they said a single chilling sentence: "We could use more of these," which is devastating, but some companies, you know, if you're a coal miner out there, you know how it is. But within weeks, the company quietly lost 4 more miners in controlled roof falls. Each man crawled out days later, changed, eyes black, skin ashy, driven by one instinct: mining coal. Corporate got greedy. They mapped out high-risk sections and sent zombies, as they would call them, in first. Free labor, no injuries, no wages, just endless digging. I mean, the families thought they were gone already. But they didn't understand what they created. The dust wasn't killing the men, it was learning from them. And one night, Jonah stopped digging. He turned toward the foreman's camera and stared into it for a full minute. Then he smiled, a slow, cracked grin. The others stopped too. Hundreds of coal-stained eyes turned toward the surface. They'd mined enough. Now they wanted out. When the siren started, it was too late. The zombies broke the elevator shaft from below, climbed through steel and concrete. The foreman locked himself in the office, shaking as the monitors showed the undead crawling into the daylight for the first time since they actually died. They no longer mined coal. They mined people, especially anyone wearing a white hard hat. And the dust followed them, filling their lungs, turning victims into more of their kind. Holler Ridge number 7 is empty now. The company abandoned it, boarded it up. But locals say if you stand near the old portal after dark, you'll hear it. Pickaxes striking rock, teeth grinding slate, a low rumbling voice saying, "Shift ain't over." Now the dust never stops spreading. It's in the wind now, waiting for the next miner to breathe deep. Because once the company created coal, and then they created coal-eating zombies, its biggest nightmare was just learning that they become unionized. All right, that's the first go, y'all. Bear with me. It's a little sketchy there, but I think we got it nailed. So I hope you enjoyed that story of that mine in Skygusty, West Virginia. Again, this is fictional, completely fake. And I hope you enjoy those stories as well. I like telling the historical stuff and the creepy stuff and all the true stuff, but I do enjoy an occasional yarn, as they say. So let me check here. I'm not sure if we got too many Q&A. You can go ahead and fire away with some questions if you have any. But if you don't, that's totally okay too. Again, this Sunday, we're going to be on a live stream with Alex Paul, and she is A Paul on YouTube, and we're going to walk through the entire timeline of the Travis Turner case. And we're going to, again, do those every Sunday for a while and see how it goes, and try to interact and get some conversations going. But hope you enjoyed. I really appreciate you taking the time to be with me this evening on short notice. Hey, Brock from St. Mary's, West Virginia. I don't think I've ever been there, but I'll have to try and visit. But yeah, if you haven't yet, like this video, subscribe to Creepalachia on YouTube, follow us on Facebook, and we were on TikTok, but we got banned for whatever reason. I'm waiting on that appeal to come through. And we'll see how it goes. But yeah, appreciate you all. Let's see. We got a question that I probably can't answer. Around how many active coal mining sites are still in the region? You know, I don't know. I know it varies. You know, it varies according to the market, and it goes up, it goes down, this and that. All the, you know, all the coal miners buy all the boats and the big trucks, and you know, sign loans of all these things. And then when we get laid off, we let it all go back to the bank, and then they call us back, and then we come back and do it all over again. So it's a good time. Let's see. What's the most interesting story you've ever heard about here in the state? There's so many states, or so many stories I've heard about West Virginia that are just incredible, terrifying, tragic. I know I'm learning something new literally every week, but I just did a story. Now, I don't know about interesting. This one's devastating, but there was a bombing in Mason County, West Virginia, and it was a jail bombing. and I just wrote a story on it. We're going to do a little video on it, but basically what had happened was there was a suicide pact bombing in Mason County, West Virginia in 1976. I knew nothing about it. So stuff like that just keeps popping up all the time. Just history that was somehow not forgotten. You know, the people in the local community, I'm sure, haven't forgotten it, but you know I didn't know about it. So yeah, it just varies. And I love the cryptid stories and things like that. I love hearing how towns got their names. I don't know if y'all enjoy that, but there's a lot of really good stories like that in West Virginia, because the way we used to name stuff was either hilarious or heroic, or just, you know, they did it just to get it over with. So they just named it some random name. But yeah, I love tons of stories. Let's see. We got, where can I get a t-shirt? Creepalachia.shop. All right, look at these fancy banners here. We actually got a lot of assets we're going to use. I'm usually going to have a moderator, but I wanted to get on and test this for Sunday. But look at this. Ooh, we got a little graphic there. It repeats. But yeah, creepalachia.shop is where our t-shirts are. So yeah, and if you buy one, you know, you don't have to buy one, but if you do, I really appreciate it. It goes directly to the show to help the show grow. I have a lot of people that help me behind the scenes, and we pay those people. I don't believe in not paying people well. So every t-shirt, you know, well, basically t-shirts. Every time you click on a video, that's free for you, but it actually, we're monetized, so it helps the show. So literally any reaction or interaction, all of that really helps the show. So I just appreciate y'all doing that so much. Hello from Bristol, Tennessee, by the way of Yukon, West Virginia, and McDowell County. Let's go. So I love Bristol. Is that where? Is there a place called? Is it Boone Lake? I can't remember. There's a lake that I used to go there and striper fish near Bristol. I think it was near Bristol. I can't remember. But anyway, there's a lake in Tennessee that I love going to that's like not real far from southern West Virginia. Another question. Have you had any relatives telling you ghost stories, paranormal they've experienced? Oh, yeah. The first episode is actually my father-in-law, Bob McKinney. He was the first guest on the show. And he told me ghost stories from the coal mines. He saw some odd things and had some odd happenings. So I highly suggest that episode. Look for Coal Miner Tells Underground Ghost Stories. It's actually, I have the interviews numbered, and that was number 1. So yeah. Hi from Ireland. Lord, yeah. I want to go to Ireland. I love Guinness. It's amazing that someone, you know, overseas is listening to the show and enjoying the show. So I appreciate you taking the time to do that. The Tazewell County, I saw someone, you know, Brennan from Tazewell County, Virginia. That reminds me, you know, of the pictures I've seen of Ireland. So I think that's Appalachia's Ireland, is Tazewell County, Virginia. Beautiful place. So yeah. I would love stories of Blackwater Falls. I know I had a family member fall from them and died. Oh my goodness. Let me make a note of that. Well, you know, condolences first off. Very sad to hear that. But Blackwater Falls, I do not believe we have done anything on that yet. So I will make a note here and talk about that. Beautiful area. So yeah. From Mercer, Bluefield, West Virginia. Let's go. Been to Mercer 1,000 times. Been all across southern West Virginia. So yeah, looks like it's wrapping up. So I appreciate y'all bearing with me on this first live stream. Again, I hope you join us for these regularly. I'm going to give better notice next time. So, to make sure that everyone's well aware that wants to join. And, some people aren't about the live streams, which I totally get too. We're just trying to grow the show and figure out a way to keep on keeping on and to increase our impact and all that good stuff. So thank you all again. Be sure to like this video, subscribe to Creepalachia if you haven't. If you're listening, I'm used to saying, if you're listening to Apple or Spotify, take a minute, leave a review, but this won't even be there. But if you do listen to the podcast, we're trying to break 100 views or 100 reviews on Apple and Spotify. So if you could take a minute and go there, hit the 5-star, write a little comment, that'll really help. And again, I appreciate you all. I hope you have a good holiday season, and thank you. See you next time.